What happens when a wife makes more money than her husband? Does it mess up the marriage or does it make the marriage better?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, but one that affects many modern marriages. And that is the question of what happens when a wife earns more than her husband. And more importantly, how couples can navigate this dynamic without resentment, tension, or a breakdown in communication. So I've stitched together some videos that we're going to watch together, and I would definitely see you on the other side. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you on the other side.
What happens when a wife makes more money than her husband? Does it mess up the marriage or does it make the marriage better? Well, recent studies show that this dynamic can cause a lot of issues. Some women become more controlling when they're the primary breadwinner, and some men feel insecure or even resentful and start questioning their role as the head of the house. So how do you keep peace and harmony in your home when the wife brings home the bigger paycheck? Now, I've counseled many couples on this issue, so let me give some advice. First to the wives and then to the husbands. For the wives, number one, always respect your husband. He may earn significantly less than you, but he is still the man you vowed to love and honor. So don't let a bigger paycheck turn into a power struggle. Number two, celebrate him as part of your success. Brag about him, give him credit where credit is due, and make sure he knows he's a part of your success. Number three, talk in terms of we, not me or mine. In other words, refer to the money you earn as our money, not my money. Your financial success should feel like a win for both of you. All right, now for the husbands. Number one, let go of the pride and stop tripping. Her making more money doesn't make you any less of a man. So don't allow her increased net worth to decrease your self-worth. Number two, be her biggest cheerleader. Your wife needs to hear that you are proud of her, so don't let insecurity stop you from giving her the praise she deserves. Remember, it's not about who makes the most money. It's about the two becoming one flesh, even in your finances.
I've been very understanding and patient with him because we all move at different paces. But it's just feeling like I'm exceeding him. And I know it sounds so harsh, but it's becoming unattractive. I'm doing the internships, getting my degrees, have my own car and more, whereas he still makes close to minimum wage, doesn't have a car, and is overall very indecisive about what he wants to do in life and very afraid to take any risk. I love this man with all my heart. He's my best friend. He helps around the house, and I never met a better father in my life. He loves me, respects me, knows my love languages, and is great in so many ways.
But he's broke.
He's not broke. He has less money than her. For years, women fight for financial equality. Men get paid more, or I want to get paid as much. And finally, you in the lead and you're complaining about it.
Women who make more than their husbands in heterosexual marriages are up to 3 times more likely to get cheated on. Another recent study found that men's stress levels rise if their female partners earn more than 40% of the household income. Researchers find that promotions to top jobs dramatically increase a woman's likelihood of divorce, a pattern that does not hold true for men. In a series of studies published in the American Psychological Association's Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, men felt bad when their wives beat them at something. But they also subconsciously lost confidence when their wives got any wins, even when they weren't in direct competition with their partners. And this was true across all kinds of achievements, personal, social, and intellectual. Men felt worse about themselves when their partner succeeded compared to when she failed. And when their partner succeeded at something they failed at, their self-esteem took an even bigger hit, and in turn, their relationship satisfaction diminish. There's quite a bit of this data that seems to suggest that for ambitious women, personal success comes with a higher likelihood of relationship stress. And as long as we live in a world in which women's ambition often comes with these steep social and personal penalties, it's likely that these gender gaps will persist. In fact, there's quite a bit of research that shows women often change their behaviors in interactions that involve men to avoid this kind of backlash. For more on this kind of research and data, visit tooambitious.com to subscribe.
My wife makes more than me. Is this an issue?
The problem can become in the marriage if it becomes a point of control or contention. And it's like, I make the money, so I'm the boss. If that's the issue, it doesn't matter whether it's the husband or the wife who's the primary income earner. You've got a really broken situation in the marriage. When it comes to money, it doesn't matter who makes it. It belongs to both of you. I went to work and tried to provide for the family, but my goal was never to have her feel like it was my money. If we're one, then everything we have is mutually owned and stewarded. I would never tell her, like, this is my money. She couldn't look at me and say, these are my kids.
In heterosexual marriages where women out-earn their husbands, couples report being less satisfied with their marriage and are more likely to divorce. However, in more optimistic news, a 2017 study found that marriages with breadwinning women did not experience instability when those wives felt that their husbands were providing high levels of instrumental support. That is, when those women felt that their partners shared in domestic responsibilities like cooking and cleaning and child or elder care, marital satisfaction and stability remained. This tracks with findings that a more equitable distribution of household labor is associated with higher relationship satisfaction and higher rates of sexual satisfaction in heterosexual relationships. That said, even when women out-earn their partners in heterosexual relationships, they still generally find themselves tasked with a greater share of household responsibilities as well. Now, given that higher socioeconomic status is typically associated with happier marriages and less chance of divorce, and the fact that as women gain status, they report greater well-being and relationship satisfaction up until the point that their status surpasses their partners. This data suggests that this relationship dissatisfaction and marital instability experienced by women who make more than their partners in heterosexual relationships has more to do with stereotypical gender norms and an inequitable division of unpaid household labor than it does with women's economic empowerment.
All right. Now, one thing I forgot to do in my intro was if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning into the channel, and I hope you decide to become part of the family by smashing that subscribe button as well as clicking the bell so that you know when new videos are uploaded. And if you're not new here, if you're a regular visitor, I would like to thank you so much for your continued support. Now, shifting back to the topic, by the end of this video, my hope is that you walk away with not just insight, but real tools and strategies to handle this situation, whether you're in it or anticipating it. Now, let's start with the big picture. For decades, even centuries, society has defined men as the breadwinners. Now, that narrative was built into everything, be it media, religion, culture, even laws. But today, women are graduating from college at higher rates, they're climbing corporate ladders, starting businesses, and earning significant incomes. Now, some examples that I can give are, for example, America saw its first female vice president in history. That's huge in history. The country I come from, Zambia, has seen its second female vice president, and this has been done on a consecutive run. So it's a big win for women. We're rooting for you. Now, this shift has created a new dynamic in marriages. While it's progressive, it also brings some unexpected emotional and relational challenges. For men who grow up with the idea that their value is tied to their paycheck, this shift can be disorienting. For women, success might come with guilt or the need to shrink themselves to protect their partner's ego. Well, that down, we're going to break down more in the next sections. So, when a wife earns more, it can trigger feelings of inadequacy in her husband. Not because she's done anything wrong, but because society's expectations still linger. So a man might start questioning his masculinity or his worth in the marriage. Some men might become withdrawn, depressed, or even defensive. Others might overcompensate in other areas. So getting over controlling about household decisions or trying to dominate emotionally might be some of the ways that they would try to take their power back. So it's not always conscious, but it's real. But the question is, what's the solution? So, for starters, the key is emotional intelligence and self worth that isn't tied to outdated gender roles. So, men need to redefine success in partnership by being supportive, by being present, and by being loving. That is just as valuable. So, those dynamics need to shift here and there. Now, let's talk about the wife. Women who earn more often feel like they have to downplay their success to keep the peace. They might avoid conversations about money or feel guilty on spending things they've earned. There's also the pressure of taking on more, not just financially, but emotionally because they feel they have to keep everything balanced. Now, this can lead to something called burnout or resentment if it's not addressed. So, how do women handle this? The answer is open communication, transparency, confidence without arrogance, and allowing their partner to step up in other meaningful ways that aren't just about money. So, there are so many other things that might come up, but here's the truth. Marriage is not a competition. It's not about who makes more or who sacrifices more or who leads more. It's about love, respect, and teamwork. So if you're a wife who earns more, own it with grace, but don't carry everything alone. And also to add on to that, if you're a husband who earns less, remember that your value is not defined by your paycheck. So, as a couple, talk often, check in with each other emotionally, and make decisions together. Support each other's growth because this is the new partnership and it can absolutely work. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you found this helpful, drop a comment, share your story, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And I would definitely catch you in the next one. And your feedback means a lot to me. I would like to hear from you on topics that you would like to hear more on this channel, topics you would like me to break down. From me, it's goodbye, and I definitely hope I catch you in the next one.